Hello and welcome back. It is now April 27th and a pretty frosty morning out here. Definitely had some cold and wet weather over the weekend, although not as wet as it probably should have been. We only really ended up with a couple centimeters of snow, which is mostly melted now, but we were consistently at freezing temperatures, getting down as low as -9. So we definitely have some cold soil conditions to contend with this week, so let's take a look. Still a little bit of snow in the fields here and there, but the sunlight yesterday did melt a bunch of it, even if it didn't really get above zero. So I'll take a look at some soil temperatures here quick. You can see we have a little bit of visible frost on the surface. It's reading as -15. Yeah, definitely we're frozen there. And here, -12. See if I can get down any deeper here. Down to about 2-inch. Yeah, -9. So pretty cold there this morning. It is possible for cereals like wheat and barley and stuff, if seeded into cold temperatures like right before this event, could potentially show some cold imbibition, but it is very rare to see in cereals. We mostly think of that with soybeans and corn, but it can happen. Also, take a look at the south thistle here. That is definitely looking a little worse for the wear with these cold temperatures. Well, flicks wheat in shepherd's purse that I'm seeing out in the fields is not looking any worse for the wear, even though you can see frost currently on these leaves here. But with those cold conditions, there really hasn't been any visible growth the last couple days, and I imagine it's probably even today, even though we're supposed to get up to a high of about 8 or 9. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot going on. Even for spraying weather, I think we're going to have to wait at least a day, especially if we get down to freezing again tonight. Well, here's where my first seeded barley is from last week, so let's take a look and see here. It doesn't look as moist on the surface here, but that surface is quite solidly frozen. Now, this might be germinated, but it shouldn't be emerging. Yeah, so we are germinated there. We got some roots, some tails, but we were not emerging towards the surface here. Now, this was pretty shallow. So this is right in that frosted zone. That soil is still frozen right where that seed is. So I guess we're going to see in the next couple days what ends up happening, whether that seed survives or not. If it was deeper, I'd be more confident in it because it would hopefully be out of that frost zone. So let's see if we can find a deeper spot. Yeah, here in this spot, we're just over an inch deep. You can see it is germinated here as well. It was not in the frost layer at that depth. So we only had about an inch, I'd say, of frost. So this was just underneath that. So hopefully it'll be okay. I guess, potentially if the weather is nice this week, we might see emergence by the end of the week, but I guess we'll see then. So far, the kochia and the volunteer canola doesn't really look any worse for the wear. You can see that canola right there still looks pretty good and healthy. So not really showing the frost effects yet. That one has a little bit of a cupped leaf, so it might, but probably it's going to take a couple days before we really know the extent of any or what sort of damage we're going to have from this cold event. Okay, here's some of my first seeded peas in the area. Scoop them out here. You can see we are germinated. Only just really, well, this one's got a good 3/4 to an inch of root out on it already. These were in pretty good and deep, about 1.5 to 2 inches. Soil temperature has warmed up a bit since this morning now. We're about, 2 degrees, 1 degree in the seed row there. Still pretty cold at that 2-inch depth. But I bet you, with that sun on it all day and weather tomorrow, I think we're going to warm up significantly again in the next couple days. Here in this field, we have a patch of burdock. So you can see we got a whole bunch of little tiny guys. These are probably coming up from some fall germinated seed that was dropped last year, and probably relatively small roots. Ones like this are coming up from a larger rootstock. This is probably the biennial. Last year, this would have been a rosette. This year, this will probably produce a stem. Now, burdock can be pretty tough to control in crop, in cereals, but some of the group 4 actives do have some pretty good activity on it, like RLX and clopyralid. In this case, this is going to be going into canola. So I think what we're going to be doing here is spraying this field with Prospect. And the Prospect does have that RLX active in it from Corteva. And that is going to help us get control because there's actually quite a bit scattered throughout this field. This is a field that does get grazed by cattle, and that always seems to spread it around. Here you can see just how big that root is on this relatively small burdock plant at the moment. That root is a good 1.25 inches thick. So burdock, a little known fact, almost the entire plant is edible to some degree or another. The root is commonly used as a bittering agent. So if you remember my agronomist Amaro that I made last fall, this was the bittering agent that I used to give a lot of flavor to it. So I'm actually going to take this home and dry it. I'm going to be making a bigger batch of Amaro this fall because of how much interest there was in it. Well, as you can see, wild oats are just continuing to emerge down here by my grass like absolutely crazy. Oh, it's almost coming up like turf grass here. This field, we're actually going to try some Garrison in it, which is a new product from Gowan this year. It's basically liquid fortress. So this field is going to be going into canola, so that'll be a good test of this new product. These peas have been in the ground for about 8 days now, and so far they are soft. But really no germination on them yet. Looks like this one is maybe just barely starting. So definitely close to germination. That soil is still very cold down at this depth. I don't have my thermometer with me, but it feels like it's still very close to freezing down here. So that has definitely slowed things down, even though it's later in the week now and quite warm. Air temperature 16 degrees. All that moisture in that soil is really holding on to that cold. Well, now that things are warming up, weeds are certainly developing fast. Kochia has started to germinate again now. Soil temperature has come up. And weeds like these dandelions are getting big pretty fast. You can see this one's as big as my outstretched hand on it. So if you want to take care of these guys before they flower, you'll have to do that with pre-burn. You can see there is some frost damage on these, which is resulting in some, twisted kind of scorched leaves. But shouldn't slow down herbicide uptake too much now that conditions have improved. So this field, we're still a little undecided as to whether we're going into canola or barley. If we're going into barley, we'll probably use Blackhawk on here with glyphosate and crimson. If we're going into canola, we'll probably use Prospect in here. So both those products should have pretty good control on these dandelions. Here you can see we got some smaller ones in here too. Here we have a really nice irrigated field of fall rye, but you can see there is some damage from last weekend's weather. You can see there is, just like on the dryland we looked at earlier this week, there is quite a bit of frost damage. Some of those upper leaves here that are they're raised up above that insulating soil temperature, right? So they're more exposed to temperature variance in the air. So we can definitely see we've got some damage there. Is it really going to kill the rye or hurt the yield? Probably not. It might slow it down for a few days while it recovers, but rye is pretty tough. It'll keep growing through this. Here in this field is a good example, one of my favorite weeds. This particular guy is not a grass. This is goat's beard, or sometimes called yellow salsify as well. But it is kind of like a biennial, very similar to dandelion. So this would have germinated from a seed last year, formed a little bit of a rosette prior to the winter, and is now rapidly growing. Very similar to a dandelion. It's going to have a pretty good sized taproot typically on it. There you go, right there. So very, very similar to a dandelion. Also, if you cut that root or the crown, you'll see it is full of milky white sap. So it can be, at a glance, you could think this is a volunteer cereal or something, but you take a closer look at it, it's quite unique. There isn't really any other broadleaf weed that looks similar to this. And similar to dandelion, shortly it'll start sending up a flower stem with a big bright yellow flower on the top. That's quite distinctive. Well, this morning I'm up by Vulcan checking out a field that's going to be going into canola. You can see this is barley stubble here now. There's the odd volunteer cereal, not a whole lot. But this field is absolutely full of both gopher and badger holes. You can see a nice badger den here in front of me. They're scattered throughout this whole field. And going into canola, that could very well be a significant problem. So right now, this stubble field, there's very little for weeds in here. A little bit of volunteer cereals here and there, but really not a whole lot of other winter annuals because this field was sprayed in the fall. So there's not a whole lot for these gophers to eat at the moment. So that means it's a perfect opportunity to come in and use bait. If you haven't seen my video on the channel about gopher control and why you're controlling them too late, go give that one a watch. It'll show you a little bit more on that topic. Well, I'm back at that field where the seed was frozen in the seed row on Monday. Let's take a look and see how things are looking here now. So I don't really expect to see any mortality in the seed row, but it has, potentially probably slowed some of the growth down. So let's take a look here. Yeah, so on Monday, the seed was germinated, it had roots out, but no shoot development. Now you can see that coleoptile is starting to extend. So there hasn't really been a whole lot of progress in the last week. You know, the seed has been in the ground for not quite 2 weeks, probably about 10 days, 10 or 11 days. So, you know, we're just seeing that coleoptile development now. Probably be out of the ground in a few more days, but it looks like it hasn't caused any mortality, just slowed things down. So we should be off to a decent start here in a few more days. Well, it's been a beautiful Friday afternoon out here so far. Lots of seeding going on throughout the area. Lots of guys starting to move on to canola now. So I think we'll have a busy weekend for sure. And that'll be it for the video for now, but we'll see you again next week.